Hey guys, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. You have a new face today. It's that time of year we're preparing for Thanksgiving and Jerry shows up. So anyway, we've got some exciting news today, some really cool things to talk about, and it kind of really works out that I'm able to talk about some of these things, especially this project that we've got going on back over here behind the barn. So I'm excited to show you the beginnings of this project and what we're getting ready to do, but we also have a lot of things that are going on right now. And one of those things is Black Friday is in process. Okay, so you can go right to the website right now, get your Black Friday specials, to get anything on the website for that discount. So anyway, you can run over there and you can grab that 25% off. Okay, so it's on everything, all pre-orders. Get your spring orders in, spend some time sitting around the fire after Thanksgiving, and get your spring orders ready to go. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of cool plants. Anything on the website, you can put it in that package. It's a great time to get the augers. If you're a landscaper, you know, resting this week and getting ready to go back out next week, this is a great time to get your crew some Jenny Edition 32-inch augers. So it is the fastest way to plant and roll. So anyways, we've got that going on, and we're going to go down here and look at some really cool plants here at the garden center. So everything like we're flashing around with the Black Friday specials for online, we're going to be running a super big special at the garden center starting right after Thanksgiving, the Wednesday that we open back up after Thanksgiving, all the way through. We'll see how long. We'll probably go all the way through the 20th, but it's 20% off all shrubs, all 3-gallon shrubs that are located down here. We're going to go down here and talk about some cool plants here in just a little bit, and talk about some designs and different things that we have going on. But before we do that, let's talk about the big project. So we have our barn, right? So we have our barn that Jenny and I built 2014, 15. And then when we built the barn was like a multi-purpose situation for us, right? So it was the place where we potted up our plants and we stored our soil and all that. We didn't have the retail space. So we've kind of morphed it into this cool retail space where everybody shows up. So we're working on some expansion and changes. So it's basically the center, that's like 48 feet this way and 20 something feet deep. So we're basically coming around here. We are starting the process of expanding the barn. So we went through, like, me and Jenny and Cece and Brittany. We were all out here talking about what can we do to kind of make the flow better for our customers, open it up a little bit more, have some more products, like move some products that were here into back. We have all these cool products like the hose links and the Proven Winter Aquapot inserts, and trying to move those and put them in more distinct, put some lights in there to kind of light everything up. So we basically just got it, simple things to do is just to expand the whole A-frame of the barn all the way out. So I got a couple of questions when we get started with this, I'm going to ask you for your response if we should do one or the two things. Okay, so just hold on. All right, so anyway, so I've already set this up, and since we have our post, which is great, here you take a simple string line. A lot of people may not know this. Take a simple string line and you get it tight and you pull it all the way out to where you're wanting to go, and then you start to pull that string line until it immediately touches your post. So you do that on both sides, this side and the next side, and that gets you your straight line. You can see right there where it just barely touches that 6x6 post, and you're good to go. So once we did that, I found it's like 11 feet and 10 inches or something from center. So we come down, we have to put a post here, and then we put the back post here. So then back over here, we're going to, of course, expand the wing that's coming off the back of the barn, and we'll have 2 posts out here. That'll give us another whole section. So we're still debating about how this section is going to take place. Is it going to be open like this one, or is this one going to be closed off so we have this entire area back here in the back for retail shopping, which I think would be really cool. Okay, so if you see the ladder right here, this is my question to you. All right, this ladder leads to a loft that is above the barn. We don't really use the loft for storage or just a few items up there that have been stashed up there, so it's not that big a deal for us for storage. But in here, we're thinking about, taking this loft out, because we're definitely over here in this space, we're going to leave the A-frame like this, and we're going to leave it totally open. So that way the entire space is open and feels bigger. So should we do that here also? Should we just gut the loft? The loft is not a structural problem whatsoever, because we have the beams and everything that ties the barn together. So that's not a problem. So that doesn't come into the equation. This is more of an aesthetic thing. Do you think it would be better if we just got rid of it so you could see all the way up and we could put a ceiling on that section? Or should we leave it in some sort of other portion, like a half loft, or leave the whole loft, or find some way to put a, maybe, because we're gonna gut this wall right here, and this wall is gonna, that way it opens up all the way into that space, but we have to leave the center post. So it's possible here at this center post that we could put a spiral staircase to the loft and still use the loft in a way that's really cool. So that's an option. So Jackson and I were actually talking about that the other day. So that's the big plan. So we're going to push this whole thing out. We're going to take this sliding door that we made, barn door, and it's going to go on this side of the barn. So that way we can close this section off. We have that section closed off. So everything would be closed off when we close for the time, and it keeps debris and animals and all that stuff out of your barn. So that's why I was thinking that somehow we put a wall here and a door and keep that side open, and then all of this is new space. We can only do like a half part wing on this side. So it'll come out to here. Might have to move that shrub back some, but it's going to be out here somewhere, so we can do like a half wing into that space. We're can't go all the way out here because of all the water that comes from the back here. So before we've got the bobcat down here, and before we really go digging, we have to watch out for a water line that may be here. I have my fiber over here that goes to the annex, which we should be okay on that, but we have to think about the grade before we start setting posts on this side specifically, because it's all going downhill, and I want to make sure we get our post in the right position. So we're going to have to raise this up some with some crush and run, kind of level up, and then we should keep the water out from back here and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're doing. If you look behind me, you might see some red berried looking bushes. So we've got Mr. Poppins back here hanging out behind that blue pot, and he's just doing his job because he produced and helped produce all those wonderful red berries. On which, oh gosh,
Berry Poppins.
Yeah. So anyway, he helped produce all those super red berries on Berry Poppins over here. So isn't not this fantastic? Like, this is a prime example as to why you plant these plants in your garden. Because here it is, Thanksgiving, and we're getting ready to creep into December, and we're going to be at Christmas before you know it. And we've got this wonderful red glowing shrub in here with all its beautiful berries, and just kind of showing out. So you're going to see some pictures of this bad boy on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, Berry Poppins Winter Berry is what that one is. Everything else is going dormant, but here it is in its glory right now. And this is why you kind of splash some plants like this on there. So it's a good time. Online, just load it up, 25% off on those bad boys for your pre-orders. So all your pre-orders are getting put in on the pre, and then we start shipping the earliest part in March for all the warm zones. So let's go down and take a look at all the shrubs we have for the garden center, which is 20% off starting next week. Okay, so we're over here at the shrub lot, and before I get too started, the signature garden's right here to my right. When you're looking at me, it might be your left. But we have Sprinter boxwood and Little Lime Punch behind it. We left all the blooms on there, and look at that structural color that we have going for this time of year. Thanksgiving, it's fall. You have the dark green and the brown in behind the green. In the spring, in the vibrance, we have the green and the hydrangea, and then the super white iridescent blooms, and they turn pink. But, you know, it's just a, you know, come on. You know, leave this stuff alone. It's okay to have brown. Look at it, it's really pretty right now. You know, so this is a good idea. We have lots of good looking dark green shrubs over here, okay? So we can add in some structure like that. And we've been talking about the New Gen Independence boxwood a lot lately. And it's an excellent boxwood. It's a nice tight boxwood, doesn't flop around. You know, it's a good slow grower. This is a good one right now for you, okay? You can put it in your landscape. We can come up with some cool stuff to put in front of it to highlight off of this bad boy. And then you may be looking at barely a 1 year cleanup, like, 'cause it only grows like 2 inches, you know, at a time. You know, it's really slow. It's going to take it a long time to get to a 3x4, okay? But this is what we have for the rest of December. This is all we got. We're not going to be bringing in any more. So they're now 20% off. So great time. So you can take this and start creating this really green stuff. We've also got what I was just talking about, the winter berries. So berry poppins and all that jazz. And then we've got this fella. I think it's him. He's laying around. Yeah, berry box. So berry box has got its little red berries too. So this would be wonderful in a pot right here at Christmas time coming up. You know, put some decorations around it and center it off. Even the boxwood that I was showing you, a lot of people are taking and just making evergreen decorations with multiple sizes of pots. And they're using boxwoods to do it. Strong box inkberry would be a really great one to do it with. The Sting arborvitae in combination with all that. So you take 3 of these guys, or 4, you can put in a pots, you know, and then think if you had these all in different sizes of pots and different heights and stuff, and you can make a nice evergreen interest at your front porch. Okay, so it's up, and then you got different size of pots, low ones, high ones, and make the tiered look with these 1, 2, 3, 4 plants. I want to see who can come do this. We only got, you know, we got a good number of them, but they should all be out here because you just got excited and you are now ready to make a new evergreen interest Christmas looking decoration for your front porch. It doesn't have to be just a Christmas tree or an inflatable Santa. You know, so anyway, I'm a big fan of the spireas. Once again, this is a plant that everybody likes to get a little sideways on because it loses its leaves in the winter. And I said it's a deciduous shrub, it's not evergreen. Look at it now. It was green. It was pink flowers. Okay, now it's burgundy and yellow, and it looks like it's on fire right here in the middle of fall. It looks like your red maple tree as a bush, right? I mean, wouldn't this not be cool to have in your landscape? Okay, so you could have that paired with boxwoods, Sting arborvitae, swing load stylium. We got a ton of those, and that's a really great plant to use over there. But before we go over there, let's look at this other spirea. The most popular of the spireas is candy corn. you know, so we've got a good number of those left. So this is really, you know, bright fire yellow in the spring, you know, with its orange colors like candy corn in the spring. Little pink flowers once again, and those flowers can be taken off, right? So you can go through and you can cut and trim off the flowers, and then it will reflush in the spring with new flowers. So this is a great bush, guys. These big full 3-gallon plant, looks like it could go to a 5-gallon, is now 20% off. Wow, I think I'm crazy. So anyway, we've got a lot. So we've got some sunshine ligustrum left. That's a great one to add into a pot. But I'm really loving the idea of that evergreen interest at your porch. There's another one to add. I've got a couple of them left. Is the Diamond Inspired Gardenia from Southern Living. So it has a cool interest in its dark green leaf. It's so different from any other gardenia on the market, with its diploid looking leaf. This will be just without its flowers, in a pot, in a decoration, maybe paired off with fire chief here, you know, in the same style decoration, and then come up with a third plant that could go with this to make your decoration. That would be excellent. So all of these are 20% off. So once again, all 20% off, ready to rock and roll. So let's look at these azaleas. I have some storm proof left, I think. It's a good time to plant hydrangeas when they don't have any leaves and flowers for you to have to take care of. This is the time to plant them. I get people asking me that all the time. We're in the South. This is North Carolina. So if you're coming here, you're purchasing, you've moved down from New York, and you're down here in North Carolina. It's a really great place to live. And you're done up there, you know, but here we're still planting. So this is a great time to get your shrubs and your trees and all that stuff in the ground. But we're a big fan of all the Perfecto Mundos from Proven Winners. These things are still rocking out right now. We went through a couple of cold nights. We're probably getting ready to get some really, really cold weather this weekend coming right after Thanksgiving. It's going to go to 23, so a lot of these flowers may not be here when you get here on Wednesday. But you can see they're still trying to produce flowers. You know, even though these are here, it is still trying to produce. This is why we're a big fan of these series, because it just seems more prolific in all of its flowers, right? It has some really cool designs. I'm really starting to like its Perfecto Mundo Epic Coral. There's Epic Coral, Epic Pink. Like that one right there is just rocking out with its big leaves. You know, it has so many flowers on it. We don't have time. Lots of times just go through here and clean them up and make them look perfect. But, you know, in the landscape, they'll end up blowing off in the wind and that kind of thing. And this is a Perfecto Double White. Look at that, a beautiful white. If you had that in your landscape right now, that's what you would be looking at. Yep. So you could decorate out your whole space. In the greenhouse, we don't have to go up there, but we're still running 40% off on all the leftover annuals, the pansies and the cabbages and all that stuff. All that's still in there. Lots of swing low, like I mentioned, still hanging out over here. By name, swing low. Vintage Jade, which is planted behind me up into the hill, is a bigger, larger, taller Distillium, where this one stays more down on the ground. We've planted a lot of these in the landscapes. So over the time of installing lots of landscapes in folks' house. So anyway, I think that might kind of do it down here. But just don't forget about all these wonderful sales. Black Friday today and all this week going through. We've got Cyber Monday, all these things. The text message and your emails when you're signed up, you get those sales back to you. So I hope that you're inspired by that evergreen plant on how many of these things we can get on folks' porches. So I can't wait to see that. Hopefully that will happen Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon, and then hopefully I'll show you some stuff coming pretty soon. We start expanding the barn out to the back. Okay, everybody have a great time. We'll check you later. Bye.